Man.
How many?
Check two. What's that?
How many judges are there?
There's just three. Then they can share. They can pass it back and forth.
Okay.
So just one for them and one for
Okay.
the groups on stage. If we were a ship, we would tip over. There's so many people on this side. But actually, that makes sense. If you're presenting, be on this side. We're going to ask that when each group finishes a presentation, they'll get a few questions from John and Rich and me, and then UP's coming, but he's going to be half an hour late. And so while the group is doing Q&A, your group comes up and interface right here with Summer. This is Summer, in case you've never met her. And Summer will get your presentation ready on the screen while the previous group is answering questions.
Can you also tell them to email it to me or see me if they haven't?
If you have not yet emailed Summer your presentation, send it to...
I mean, you can come see me and I can give you my email address. It's probably easier.
Come see her, like right now, and give her...
If you're going tonight, if you're in blue.
If you're in blue.
And you have yet to email.
Please, 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 if you're sitting in the back row, you're too far away. I do not want people in the back row. I don't want people in the second to back row. I don't want people in the third to back row. Are you getting the message? Sit close. Thank you. We'll give about 2 more minutes for latecomers to show up. You got nothing to be nervous about.
You're not the one talking.
Hey, I'm only talking for
You have a digital.
15 minutes every day.
You have a digital project.
What's that?
You have a digital project.
A what?
You have a digital project.
You know, that's an interesting conversation for another time.
Is that a yes or a no?
My whole life is this project.
But like, were you a part of this shit?
What's that?
Were you like this?
No.
Or were you the artist?
No.
See, you gotta build
You're right. You're right. We have an attendance sheet that we're gonna pass around. Make sure you don't leave here tonight without having signed your name on the attendance sheet. It has 3 columns: one for section 1 at 12:30, one for section 2 at 2:30, and one for section 3 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come on down front, Aiden. Be sure that you put your name in the correct column for your section, and don't leave here tonight without signing the attendance sheet. And finally, I know y'all have worked really hard, and I really appreciate it. Some have worked harder than others. I hope that you get down on this stage tonight, if you're presenting tonight or Wednesday, and have some stuff to tell us about that you feel proud of. We look forward to hearing it. For the faculty, John and Rich, and I may give some comments, and UP when he gets here. We're going to try to keep the comments very intelligent, helpful, and pointed and brief. Because we do have 10 groups presenting tonight, and we want to give each group 10 minutes and 5 minutes for Q&A. If your presentation goes to 9 minutes, you'll see me sitting right down here waving 1 more minute. If your presentation is still going after 1 more minute after that, you'll see me slowly walking up to the side of the stage. If you see that I'm on stage with you, it's time to end the presentation. Okay? 10 minutes is the max. 8 or 9 is not too bad, but, keep it moving. And what else? Anything else before we start? Alan, can we dim the house lights just a little bit? Not to black, but just to so we can see the screen in a beautiful way? All right. Well, our first group tonight is Millennial Records, and they have 4 members. I'm just going to introduce for each group, I'm just going to introduce the manager, so I don't have to tell you everybody's name, but I'm sure they'll introduce themselves. Claire Bell.
Hi, everyone. We are Millennial Records, and Cameron is going to start off the presentation for us.
Okay, how are you guys doing today? My name is Cameron Clark, and I am the manager of Millennial Records, and our artist was Gabby Gottschalk.
So we just have a quick little agenda for what we're going to cover. We're going to go over our roles in the group, our mission statement. We're going to familiarize you guys with Gabby, talk about how we signed her, our financial breakdown, and then we're each going to talk about our individual roles, our group struggles, and then the future plans.
So, as I said again, I am the manager. We had, as our A&R, we had Skylar. Creative was Jarrell, and our manager, marketing expert was Claire. And our mission statement here at Millennial Records is that being that we're all New Orleans natives, we wanted to find artists and try to use what we found as the key characteristics of New Orleans to kind of guide them as an artist, those being perseverance, ferocity, and sincerity. And over the semester working with Gabby, we found that these were the defining qualities that stood out as we helped and shaped her career.
So I'm going to introduce you guys to Gabby. Cameron, Jarrell, and I actually all went to school with her at some point in our high school careers in New Orleans. So kind of off the bat, we knew that we wanted to work with someone that we were already familiar with and that would be challenging. And as Cameron mentioned, perseverance, ferocity, and sincerity were the 3 main things that we really wanted to have show through in our group and our artist. And Gabby was actually born deaf. It's the really, really interesting thing about her and how she really adheres to that perseverance factor. When she was 4 years old, she had tubes placed in her ears, and that was the first time she was able to hear. And since then, she has absolutely excelled in her music career. She's been doing things since high school throughout when we've known her. She's from Brooklyn, moved here when she was about 10 years old, has lived back and forth between the two, so she has a lot of culture, a lot of experience. She studied under the classical vocals program at NOCA, for those of you who are familiar with New Orleans schools. And right after graduating, she actually did an interview with a New Orleans talk show called It's New Orleans, where they discussed her struggles as being born deaf, transitioning into being an artist, and they referred to as a New Orleans prodigy. So we really, really thought that that would be an interesting way to do this project. So before we even thought about using Gabby, though, we knew that we wanted to do someone local, since all of us are local. We knew that we wanted someone that would be relatable, preferably someone we all kind of knew, who was really unique, had an interesting mindset about the music industry, an interesting story, but could still provide us with challenges through the project that we could learn and grow from. So when we thought about using Gabby, we went and spoke to her, and she was really on board with that. She works full time, so she hasn't been able to be as involved with her music career as she wanted to. So she really wanted a group that could advise her, direct her, manage her, and she could really just put her trust in us to get where she wanted to go with this. So our final agreement, we sat down and did the artist management agreement early on in the semester, and it was really straightforward, pretty lax. She wanted to maintain her own control, but just, as I said, wanted to have a group that could really show her the ropes of doing it in a professional adult setting outside of high school. And Cameron's gonna talk about the financial plan now.
All right. So we spent a total of, I think, around $115 total producing her song Mind Games this semester. And as you can see up there, $45 of it went towards our director, Mary Grace Copa, who also edited the video. $20 went towards a animation program that we used for a preliminary video before we actually got our real video shot. We spent a total of $30 on mastering using Lander and CD Baby to publish it on Spotify and Apple Music, and $20 total building our website using Bandzoogle. And now I'm gonna have Skylar talk about artists and repertoire.
Thanks. So initially with this process, we went into the studio, and at first the record was just supposed to be guitar. So Gabby came in and she brought her guitar in, and she got to jamming out, and she had collectively a nice amount of songs that she had picked out. So when I was looking through her song lyrics, a lot of them were about emotional experience as far as relationships are concerned, and we ended up piecing parts of each song that she had into one song. So the song got created in the studio. So the hardest part about it was finding her time to get into the studio, and being that this was her first recording session, getting her comfortable and being able to have her as positive and nice energy was an amazing process too. And she was able to keep up some positive energy throughout the entire process, with it being her first studio session. And those are our producer creds. So mastering was by Lander, mixing was by Joseph Kalb, which was our engineer, and production was by me and Chris Ibert. And then also we did a MIDI drum track as well. So we wanted to capture something that was soulful, so we went with piano and drums and guitar, so it ended up going pretty well. And I actually got in touch with Gabby and one of my friends who's a graphic design major here at Loyola, and we wanted something visual. So this picture was actually started initially on her Instagram, and we went with the one that got the most likes. So this one was around 3,000 likes, so we used this picture. And this picture really captures how she felt at the time, and we liked the picture, and it was really natural, soft, and subtle type of feel. And that kind of represents her song, so you'll hear it later.
So yeah, like Cameron was saying earlier, we did 2 videos. One was an Animoji because, you know, it was hard to meet with Gabby a lot because of her traveling. And the second video we finally got together and recorded it when she got back like 2 weeks ago, last week or something. So I basically just gave input on what should go in the video based on the lyrics from the song and the mood of the song. With the website, I basically gave input on how everything should be set up and like the color schemes and everything. And yeah, so yeah.
And we're gonna play a snippet of the video.
Been going through the motions, and then you came into my life that I wanted, and now I'm feeling so shy. Gonna be worth it. How dare you play your little mind game?
So that was just a little snippet of the video, and I'm going to talk about the marketing aspect of it. If I can get this to close out. So from the marketing perspective, I was responsible for creating the website, and she really already had a pretty well-established social media presence, so we didn't mess with that a lot. The website, we just really wanted to look accessible and clear. So this shot right here is a picture of what it looks like on a laptop versus on a phone and a tablet. And then just in the process of promoting the website, I went ahead and we posted on Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, sent out text blasts, email blasts to the website. The website email address has about 25, 30 email people on the list now. We increased her social media following, even though it was already pretty proficient, by about 20, 30 followers on each website. So it was really interesting to be able to just do all of that. And then moving forward in the future, Gabby's going to be taking over the payment responsibilities for the website. We're going to continue to support her social media-wise. I've talked with her about the marketing aspect of it, and as needed, she's going to come to me for that. She's going to work all on that together. And then the live show we never got done because she was out of town, but we're potentially putting together something at Neutral Ground after the new year. So you guys should sign up for our email list to stay up to date with that. And that is the conclusion of our project.
Hey guys, just a couple comments. My first comment is I think the song's great. Sounds excellent. She sounds like Nina Simone or something. So beautiful song. I wanted to hear I was actually disappointed when you turned it off. Love the song. I like the production. I like the way the loop slowed down when it entered, then the BPMs rolled off. That was great. I thought the artist's photo was very good. Like the artwork, all the artwork was great. She seems like she's got a lot of charisma. I'm only going to give you one critique, which was somebody made up a word, priorly. So I'm reading this stuff. I'm sitting here, and so I'll look for words that aren't actually English words, and that was not a real word. But I thought it was a good presentation, and she's a great artist. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
So can we hear the whole song? And the rest of the group slow? Can we hear the song? So we can't hear the song. Okay. Oh, yeah. So who did the legal work?
Since we were a group of 4, we just each did the respective legal group for the legal work for our own assignment within the group. So the management artist contract we did as a whole. Marketing, I took care of that stuff. Jarrell did the work for hire for the music video. Skylar did the legal recording aspects.
So you have a mechanical license for the song? Yeah, whoever wrote the song has got to give you a license to use it. Like, we couldn't publish that song without the license. Okay, so that's publishable. And you put it on Spotify, so you did publish it. So, did she write the song?
Mhm. Yeah, it started as a conglomeration of several songs that Gabby had written prior, and we sat down and put it all together.
So you have a joint work.
In the song, so she wrote the first verse, I did the second, and then she had a chorus. She did the choruses, and I only did the verse.
Okay. Make sure you register with the Copyright Office. All right. Thank you very much. That was excellent. Appreciate that.
One more time. Millennial Records. Okay. Alan, we are switching out the laptop for this next presentation. Oh, yeah, that's ideal. It's steezy, right? Not sleazy. No. Okay. Style and ease. We can make it sleazy. Like the whole first half of the semester, I was looking at it and I kept thinking sleazy, and then I was like, is that a take? Style and ease. Who's starting off talking? Okay. Let's.
Just trying to make sure it comes on.
That's it? All right, next up we have Steezy Entertainment. This is a group of only 3. They lost 2 members over the course of the semester for reasons beyond their control. And they've done a really good job nonetheless, I think. We have Caroline, Jim, and Ian, and we're started off with manager Caroline Lovelace.
Hi, I'm Caroline Lovelace. I was the manager for this group. We had a very interesting time doing this project, I want to say. We've had a lot of ups and downs through this, but I feel like we've really put it together and really come through with everything. This is just some of the pictures from our live show that we had at the Howling Wolf. It was on November 9th, and I'm going to hand it over to Joe to talk about who is McAvoy.
Hi, so I was the A&R and legal representative for Steezy Productions, and McAvoy are some of my close friends. In fact, one of my roommates happens to be the keytar and lead vocalist for the project. I met them by working with some of their recording overdubbing in my room, and then ended up kind of taking the relationship a step further when they decided they wanted to take this and run with it in a more professional way. They just formed as a duo when we got to know them. One of them is a PhD in bioengineering at Tulane, and the other is a professional music teacher at School of Rock in Metairie. So being a very interesting combination of minds and spirits in a certain way, they make very good music together and a wide, diverse audience of different types of people who are interested in it. So we're going to play a snippet of the song right now. Can you take it to about the halfway point? The guitar player is going to be the Tulane PhD, and then the bassist is going to be the music teacher. He also beatboxes as the percussion, so if you notice something a little bit more grainy and kind of analog about that, that's because it's all recorded beatboxing, which they do as a live looping act, which makes them a fairly interesting live performance. So working with them was very interesting as they'd never recorded before, but we worked around all of those objects and we did most of the recording in my house as overdubs. It's kind of that sort of project as they are multi-instrumentalists and added many flutes as well as several guitar tracks that they couldn't integrate into a live performance, but we managed to work into the duo studio recording process. And now I'm going to pass this over to Ian, who's going to talk about some of the marketing and social media.
How you guys doing? My name is Ian. Like I said, this was you guys know it was a 3-person group, but everything was very split, but I was majority the marketing and A&R person of this group. So one of the first things we had to establish for this group was a social media presence. They didn't have really anything, but they had a Facebook. But before they were McAvoy 2, they were McAvoy 1. It was just keytar and beatboxing. But we established a really strong social media presence, really got into their Facebook, promoted them with ads and paid advertisements through there. And through their Instagram, which was established by us, we ended up getting up to 1,100, almost 1,200 followers throughout this semester. So yeah, it was really cool getting that together. On top of the website and social media design stuff, we ended up really establishing a merch idea and concept for this band. As you can see, we're all wearing very fashionable McAvoy t-shirts, right? We look sexy in these, right? All right. On top of that, we've got stickers, and let's see, we have our now, scroll down a little bit, we have our song now for purchase on Bandcamp, right? And as soon as it gets cleared on Bandcamp, it's going to be on all streaming platforms as well. So yeah, I think what we have coming up next is the legal, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, upcoming shows. Yeah, sorry. We have had 1 show so far, but along on our groups, we have 3 more shows coming up. Let's see, yeah, right on. So yeah, we've been keeping busy with these guys. It was very interesting putting this together, and it actually really started rolling on itself as we went along with it. Yeah.
I just want to talk a little bit about the upcoming shows. We have 3 upcoming shows, and then we also have our contact information on our website. It's fill a load right here. We actually didn't we buy them a management email? I believe it's right here. It's management@mcavoymusic.com. You can also contact us by filling out the contact form, and also we have a mailing list that you can join as well with all of our social medias linked down below. And now, Joe's going to talk about the merch.
So we thought it would be a key element of the promotion and marketing for the group as well to have get in on top of the merchandise, because we thought that was the best way for our production company to actually make some money off of this operation. Part of our group's agreement with the band was that we would take whatever percentage of the merchandise profits that we put into the investment, which means that they do have the opportunity to invest later on, but for the time being, we're starting with a limited run of 100% Steezy production merchandise, meaning that we are getting all the gross profits from these. These are bleached stencil t-shirts, meaning we cut the cost of like graphic design and printing out of it, and we can make them in a variety of different styles, sizes, colors, and cuts as we need them, when we need them, and keep our market diverse of different designs as easy as simply doing them that way, rather than relying on creating new graphics and limited parts of shirts and simply on blank t-shirts. Just as well, we got them stickers, which we think slap tagging and people using stickers is one of the best ways of promoting group projects. Made sure that they were something vibrant that could be easily read with the logo that we've designed and engineered for them. So with that being said, I'm going to bring you guys to some of the finance that my man Ian's been looking after for us.
Thank you, my man, Joe. Yeah. So with our finances, we ended up getting really into this project, financially speaking. We ended up spending about, let's see, I think, not looking back, $407.63 on this project through merchandising, Bandcamp, establishing websites, putting them on CD Baby. It's all listed there. But yeah, we went and had a great time doing that. So we still have yet to make all of our money back. We're anticipating that that will be through tickets, door sale percentage, and merchandising at our next 3 shows. So we're really fingers crossed and getting back ahead on our finances with this project. But yeah, it was a great investment in really establishing them as an artist with a logo and a brand and an image. with this. So with that said, I think we're going to go into legal. Yeah.
So I just gave a little example. You don't have to read all the dense block of text of some of the arrangements we've made with the artist, particularly monetary ones, as it helps understand a little bit of the finance. We did make agreements that this is an original song. We had them write it for the group on the assumption that we were going to do the full digital distribution, the recording process, and everything, which the band as a new project was ecstatic about. We didn't want to, take an unfair share of anything, though, so we tried to craft an agreement that would make it both encourage us to invest more and work for the band such that we could make money off of it without discouraging them from creating, performing, which is why we thought that the merch deal would be a better way of us actually seeing some profits from that in the short term. We're collecting 25% of their streaming revenue until we break even on our investment, at which point we'll be maintaining roughly 10% of those profits from streaming and mechanical royalties as well as performance royalties. Both of our band members are with ASCAP, and therefore we'll be collecting both of those. Just as well, we collect 10% from each of their live performances in the time that we were booking for them. I'm going to pass it off to Caroline to address some of the problems and challenges we had, which were many and numerous.
Okay, so the main problem we had was at first we signed an artist named Japan Handler, and about the second week of October, he lost every bit of his music, and we ended up having to drop him. And then he wanted us to do his whole band, the Ivory Sons, and we were down to do it, but it was a band of 6 or 8, I believe, and it was very hard to meet up. So then that's when we came to the conclusion of, we got to get this song done. We got to find some new artist. And that's when Joe brought up, he's like, hey, my roommate does this, and it was really good. And so that's when we decided to go with that. Another problem we had was, or not really a problem, but Owen, the McAvoy, the guitar player, yeah, he had never recorded music at all. And that was a big accomplishment for him to record music.
Yeah, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about the accomplishments. I think we got a lot done, as you can see from our website. We're going to need to wrap this up quick, though, but I think we demonstrated a lot of the accomplishments that we made during this performance, and we'd encourage you guys all to go check out the band's single and give them the same hype that we love to give them.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. I thought that was excellent. I liked your financials. Why did you spend $400? Where did that come from?
So some of that was from the band. When we booked our show at the Howlin' Wolf, there were 3 openers. We paid them each $60. That racked up expenses pretty quick. And we have yet to, we made enough money to cover that and pay the band.
Are you going to recoup those unrecouped expenses?
Yeah, so those are unrecouped expenses.
Off the top, you're going to recoup all before you take, you're not going to take 10%.
We did, yeah. So we did take that. We should have added that to our income and profit as the whole and then taken our percentage from it.
Yeah.
But we just calculated our percentage directly.
Okay, but you can recoup the money you spend on the record.
Yes.
Generally speaking. So
yes.
I think the T-shirts was a great idea. I think the stickers is a great idea. It does sound like y'all had a pretty compatible group. Did you record it at the studios upstairs, or where did you do that?
No, we didn't. We did it all as overdubbing. I have experience with mixing and tracking sessions, so we did it all through my house, just as easily as my roommate. So it was pretty easy to take single tracks in between things and make sure we got more than enough time with the artists.
You think they're going to stay together as a group?
I'm actually going to continue managing them after this is over, as well as paying for the yearly and monthly expenses. So I'm certainly hoping so.
It's a good job. Thanks.
Yeah, great job, you guys. Good energy from all of you. Shirts look awesome. I'm actually, after this, maybe explain how you did it. It looks cool. I don't know how y'all did that. But I was surprised, and now I was going to ask what that $200 expense at Howlin' Wolf was. I think that's great that you paid your opening bands. It seems like in general you guys were financially ambitious, and also the deal you did reminds me of like these 360 deals, like where you're basically in every part of the business, the merch and the touring and all of that, and so that you guys are ambitious, and it seems like you really had your act together. Those are all my attaboys. My only tiny critique is toward the end you were covering your mic with your hands, so it was harder to hear you. That's just one of those basic mechanics things. But anyway, great job, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, next up. By the way, I just want to add, that was really impressive for a group of just 3. You guys got a lot done. Next up, we have Monroe Records. Their artist is Kirsten Jade, and their manager is Masai. So take it away, Masai.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out, and good evening. So I'm Masai Newport, and I was the manager for Kirsten Jade. Kirsten Keller, a.k.a. K Jade. And we are Monroe Records.
My name is Zach Karsh, and I'm A&R.
My name is Caitlin Lombard, and I was creative.
My name is Andre Sion, and I was legal.
Today we're just going to be showcasing her first ever single, Want You to Stay, the music video, legal documentations, and how we want to go forward with Monroe Records. So we've already introduced ourselves. I'm Masai, Zach, Kat, and Andreas. Oop, I went too far. And we're just going to be going through, the single, music video, legal, marketing, and future and aftermath. So Kirsten actually goes here. She's a student here. She's also in the Music Industry Studies program. We found her through the list that Lo Faber gave us in Blackboard, and we heard her music and what she had on her own platform, and we really liked it. We decided we wanted to work with her. We emailed her, and she seemed really interesting, so I'll go to
Yeah, so like Masai was saying, she basically submitted a bio to Lo. Some of the faculty members might actually recognize her. She was on the stage once before. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but she's actually been a part of this project. So she was really willing, and the fact that she was part of this project already really added to the fact that we knew that she wanted to do this. It really added a sense of authenticity, and it immediately drew us to her. So we got in contact with her. We're going back and forth about what kind of sound she wanted. She said she wanted more R&B, soul, kind of pop, singer-songwriter vibes. And so I actually set her up with a producer who I help manage by the name of Josh Mosier. He's a Tulane senior singer, songwriter, producer. He sent me a couple beats. I sent them over to Kirsten. She started writing 2 or 3 of them, and we all hopped in the studio, and it was smooth from here on, from there. And basically the final product we got was Want You to Stay. Her debut single. She had never released a song before. She had 1 feature on, I believe, a Loyola student's song. And other than that, she had no music put out. And with the help of Matthew Curry, who I believe might be, yep, right there. We got him in our first studio session. We had about a 2-hour studio session on a Friday night. It was late Friday night. We were all getting tired. And he said, all right, let's get out of here. Let's see what we can do. Left, went back in. Stems weren't all there. We realized we needed a little bit more help. Set up another studio session with the GOAT, Chris Hayes. And he really killed it for us. He did everything from the mixing, the mastering, and it was perfect. And so we were very happy with the song and the single. And here's Kat talking about creative.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start off talking about the album artwork or the single artwork. So I had met with her a few times to talk about what kind of vibe she had wanted for her song itself. And we talked about a whole bunch of different things, but she always kept coming back to this one picture right here that somebody had taken for, I think, maybe a few months ago. And so we talked about maybe getting somebody to draw and do like a more cartoony version of it, or maybe doing like a computer graphic version. But then we kind of came back to the idea that she wanted more of a simplistic kind of look to it. So she asked if somebody could brighten it. Luckily, my older sister is a graphic designer, so I had talked to her, and we had talked about getting together and going through and like setting up some different things with the album art, and we were gonna pay her, but my sister was like, no, I just really want the exposure, and since it's super simple, I'll do it for y'all for free, but in the future, like, just remember, like, I helped you guys, so it was really cool. It worked out for us. And then I got to meet with her a few times after that to talk about the music video. Her inspiration for her song was actually Corinne Bailey Rae. Yes, Corinne Bailey Rae, Put Your Records On. She wanted a very authentic, vibey kind of song that wasn't super detailed, wasn't hard to like follow. It was just a song you could kind of watch, feel good, and we can play it here. So for this video, I had actually interviewed a few people to kind of come out and help me. We were planning on going to City Park originally, which is actually where we ended up going. We were originally planning to go to Audubon Park, sorry. But what ended up happening was I had talked to a few people to help me film the video, and at very last minute, they flaked out on me, which is why you always have to have backups, you know? So my friend Chandler Boudreau, who's actually trying to start a photography club here, I was looking at some of his work, and I was talking to him, and I had mentioned the music video, and he had offered to help me. So we worked out a legal document with him to pay him and credit him for helping produce the music video, and so we brought her out to City Park. We had originally planned to do one day during the week, but then that entire week had rained out, and she wanted the song to feel super summery, so we had to reschedule it a few times, and we finally found this beautiful day to go out and film, and we got this really laid-back video, which she was very happy with the outcome of it, and so were we. And now I'll pass it off to Andreas with legal work.
So to solidify a few of the components of this process, we crafted a number of legal documents between varying parties. So we had a legal document to start off with for the record company itself, and all four of us, all founding members of Monroe Records, specifying things such as meeting attendance requirements and our roles, and also ethical behavior, you know, like making sure that the company doesn't act in any sort of illegal ways. And we also, for this process, had to craft a number of legal contracts between us and the artists we were working with, which in this case was K. Jade and the producer. So they each got their own contracts detailing a lot of the same things, such as the revenue distribution between the company, the artist, and the producer. And for the artist, it also included things such as her term, which for us was this one single, and what we're planning on doing moving forward is starting a new term, which would be longer. But for this, it was just the single, and it specified things such as release dates for the song and release dates for the video, and things such as that. And lastly, we also had a contract between us and the artist and the video producer, which was Chandler Boudreau, as Kat mentioned earlier, specifying things such as specifying the budget for the video production, and also how we would pay him, and how when we would be required to pay him. And additionally, K. Jade has registered for a BMI. So I will pass it back.
So as you can see, it's only the four of us, so we all chose our personal thing. I'm manager, he's A&R, creative, and legal. So we didn't have a marketing person. We did at first, and what happened was in the middle of the project, when the website and things of marketing were due, he flaked. And so he never gave us a finished product of anything. So we never were able to have a website or make a website ourselves. So what we had to do was just use with what we had, which was her Twitter account, her Instagram, just self-promoting, shout-outs. She even came to Forum a few times to talk about her song and things of that sort. And that's really all we had for, oh, she also had a Facebook. So we tried to just amp those things up instead of trying to have to do more work. We just used what we had. Yeah.
So I think the big question is how the song actually did, how much money we made. You know, we all pulled in money together to put it through DistroKid, which distributed through all streaming platforms, and we can look at how we did. And damn, look at all those zeros. That's crazy. We made so much money. Not really. Basically, DistroKid doesn't give us the money or the streaming numbers until 3 months after the song is uploaded. So we're waiting to hear back from that, see how much money we made. Obviously, I mean, with the promotion that we've had, which has been a little bit minimal, given that we did not have a website, we have a big concert coming up in the spring for her. There isn't a whole ton of promotion behind her right now that could push that single, but that leads us to the future. So for our future plans, we have a 5-step process. Number one is our organic growth. Like I said, this is her first debut, her first single that she's ever put out. She's had no music before. She's had one feature. So we're really still developing her sound. We're starting from the bottom, and we're gonna hopefully make it back up to the top. While we're doing this, we're gonna be promoting this as the lead single while also producing her first full-length project, which will hopefully come out in the spring. We're also intending to build local connections within the city so that we can eventually reach out to venues and try and solidify that one showcase live performance that really showcases her skills. And then hopefully number 5, Kirsten will be doing the Birdman hand rub, looking out the window at a blimp with her name on it. So that's really our plan for the future.
You might want to add number 6 or 5 is build a website, right?
Right. That's part of the promotion is where we intend to build a website. It's not like, without a marketing member, we just stop there. We really intend to build a website. We tend to keep pushing the social media and keep promoting her.
If you were doing this for real, you would have to market the stuff anyway, whether you can't let that go. But she's great. She's kind of looks like Whitney Houston and sounds like Sade. She's got a real thing. And so I think you could make something happen with her. So you intend to continue to work with her, right?
Definitely.
If you can do this with one artist, you can do this with another artist. It's a scalable business. So I think you did a good job. The finances, you didn't quite include all the expenses of what you did. I didn't really see that. But did you lose money? You didn't make any money, right?
Well, yeah. As of right now, we have lost money because we had to spend $20 on DistroKid and then also pay for the work for hire for the music video director. So we're seeing this as a long-term process, as you said, where in the future, we're going to keep promoting and keep building that single and, get it so we are making money.
Where did you record it?
In Studio B upstairs.
Okay. Well, I thought it was good. So good job. Thank you very much. You're good.
Good job, you guys. I'll give one constructive criticism and one just thumbs up. By the way, I hate giving criticism, but I have to do that right now. It's my job. But so my only note for you guys in that regard is that she's an awesome artist. It's lovely, and so I feel like you guys in the presentation you talked a little bit about like the different people that flaked out and some of the problems you had. But I would maybe minimize that and just stay with all the strengths of what you guys have right now. And that's my compliment, which is she's great, lovely artist. Song sounds good, so good job overall.
Who's going to start off this back and forth? Pef? In between groups, I just want to make sure that attendance sheet is going around. Bailey seems to have it right now, so Grayson, after you've signed it, keep passing it around. And our fourth group tonight is Easy Peasy Entertainment. And they have both a manager and a CEO in their corporate structure. And by the way, when they're doing Q&A and the next group is coming down, try to go around the back and come down here so you can meet Summer and get your presentation ready to go. All right. So we're going to start off this presentation with the CEO, Pef.
Hi, I'm the Chief Executive Officer. I'm Pef, that's P-E-F-F. All right, moving on, yeah. So we have a mission statement. That is conjuring charisma for creative characters. What does that mean? Well, it's whatever you want it to mean. But for us, it means that we went in, we found our artist, we got out their personality, we took it in, we massaged who they were, and then we brought it back out. And now it's like 100 times what they are. And the world wants to hear them. So before they were just that kid with that backpack with that musical idea. But now, they're Surreal Estate. Surreal Estate. The band. All right, if you look closely, wait, nope, go back. All right. If you look closely, you'll see that house. There's a house in the middle. There's a house at the bottom too, but the house in the middle. You see, as the CEO, I built the house. I still maintain the house. But I'm not the architect. The architect was the band. And so the band kind of lives inside that house. Keep going. All right, press a button. All right, so RJ Money. He was the money maker. He was the first guy that came in and was like, we can do this. He goes to Tulane. But he's a guitar player, and his friend, DJ Shelton, is his friend. And DJ is actually a music major at Tulane. And so they came together. He also plays guitar, apparently. All right, keep going. Yep, that's Mathilde. She's from France. She also goes to Tulane. She has an incredible voice. Keep going. Aaron, Tulane grad, bass. And Eli, he plays the drums. And if you look up there, you'll see me, and that's Cole, our A&R. And what are they doing there? Well, I'll talk about that later. Go ahead. All right. So as I said, I built the house. I maintained the house. I'm, I don't know why it says the architect. Well, I guess I was kind of in the band. So that's what I'm about to talk about. Cole and I maintained connections. That's everything when you're running a label. Our connection with the band was that we're both musicians. I play saxophone. Cole he's a keyboard guy, but he does everything. He's a Renaissance man. We went in there, we jammed with the band, we went to the recording studio, we got the work for hires, because we're not in the band, and we played with them, and we're like, wow, you guys really have a vision. So we got to understand musically where they were coming from, personality-wise where they were coming from, and just what they wanted to do with their marketing. And I'll have Cole talk about the marketing scheme.
Just real quick about the marketing scheme before we go on. We definitely try to have a really grassroots, hands-on approach with these types of things. Like, we really are, we're influenced by the Grateful Dead, both like sonically and idealistically. And so in that regards, we really tried to like have an artist first type of mentality and really try to just make some really nice music for people and not try to like make a ton of money off of every little part, even though that's necessary. So, as previously stated, I'm Cole. I'm the A&R guy, and so our initial search for the artist, we were looking for someone with really good personality and recognizable approachableness and just personable, genuine people's people, salt of the earth. And we were so lucky to find RJ and DJ, who we initially had just signed RJ and DJ, but we can't just have a band with 2 guitar players, so we had to flesh out the whole band. And in finding those members and finding each member and adding another personality to the group, we created a really consistent sound that we're working with. So in the recording process, I worked with Joe Kalb. He was our mix. I produced, and he was a sound engineer. And I learned a ton about just different things you can do with software I had no idea about. We had one recording session with him. We had one recording session with our friend Dante, who was nice enough to help us out. We had 4 more mixing sessions, and I think the final product sounds pretty good. We'll see for yourselves, but the nature of time restraints and just wanting to continue to work on something is always a little bit of an issue. So going on to live shows, we played 2 shows at this place called the Juggling House, which is just like a weird place for strange people. And it was a great time though. It was like a house party. There was 60 to 80 people. The second time, our lead singer was sick, so we had more of a jam. But it was really good. Those were on October 27th and November 10th. This is the Benevolent Society, which is also the Juggling Club. And we used these as a platform to get ready for our next shows, and to get people and be used to performing in public and going forward. So it was really good to hype the next shows, but it wasn't like a performance. Even though we had a stage built in the backyard, it wasn't quite as official. Then we had our gig at the Willow later on in November, and we had 2 saxophone comes in for that day because we had a friend in town named Javi, and he played with us. There were 200 people showed up. 85 of those people were ours. We made $200 off of a $5 cover. We played with For Real and Josh Mosier, and honestly, that was a really, really good time. That's where we really got started and things picked up. So we're gonna move on to, that's the Willow, yeah. We're gonna move on to Jose for the manager.
Hi, I'm Jose. I'm the manager of the group. Meetings, minutes, and organization. I was a person that made sure that everybody in the group, including the band, came to the meetings that we did. I make sure to list everybody that came and who didn't. I write them up. I also made sure that everybody in the group made progress in their work. They just, in general, just making sure that they worked in everything that they needed to work in. Then concerts, money, and stickers. Next slide. Yeah. For like, I made up with the group to make sure to like discuss what sort of merchandise we were gonna make. And we decided that stickers were the perfect merchandise for us right now. We spent $35 on the stickers. We spent $40 on the work for hire agreements and $25 on the music video. And we just had $20 that we didn't use at all. Like Cole said before, at the show at the Willow, we made $200, which we're going to use for the band in the future. And yeah, now we're moving on to legal.
Okay, so I'm Langston, and I was the legal representative for Easy Peasy Entertainment. I was in charge of all the legal documentation. So first we started out with the group agreements, making sure that everything that we had agreed upon in between us was in writing. And instead of going into like the minute details of each document that we did, I want to touch on basically our entire methodology of the documents that we created. And us as an entertainment, we took the artist first approach. And basically, we just want to make sure that we have integrity in all the documents and agreements that we're making, because the artist that we sign has to live with these agreements and the decisions that they make with our company for the rest of their lives and careers. So I sat down with them personally with RJ and DJ and went over each specific detail of what they wanted in the document to make sure that they were happy, since that was our primary objective first and foremost. And so next is going to be Jonay.
Hi, I'm in charge of marketing. My name is Jonay Oldham, and when I first met RJ and DJ, we decided that it's best that we stay true to who they were. Sorry. Before this, they didn't have any social media accounts. They were just regular guys at Tulane. And we decided that, yes, we would build we'd build an Instagram and Facebook, but we were going to focus more on grassroots advertising and going out and meeting people to come to our shows. So yeah, and one big main thing that we did for our show at the Willow, we did this chalk up on McAllister, and that's where a lot of people actually learned about us from that. So.
Hi, my name's Katie. I was the creative director, so I was basically in charge of the music video. So I hired a Loyola freshman to, so I hired Lauren Hicks. She is a sophomore actually at Loyola, and we did a work for hire for her, and we filmed on one weekend at the Tree of Life. We went on a Saturday morning for a couple hours, and she filmed and edited the video, and then I also helped film some B-roll for it, and then she edited it for us, and we are actually planning on hiring her again next semester to film some more footage, because we did have issues with the band scheduling wise, so not all of them are actually in the video. So we plan to make up for that by refilming again later in the semester. No, it was like a Google Drive.
They're the Vimeo one.
Not on Vimeo. We put it on Google Drive.
Yeah, so they didn't send it to me.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Is it on YouTube? What if we switch accounts? It's not on YouTube?
No, it's not on YouTube. Not this version. This version.
Because it doesn't let you do one.
Can we just watch 2 seconds of what is on YouTube?
Yeah, we can watch the old one.
We're over 10 minutes as it is.
apologize for the inconvenience.
Is the video and the track different, Cole, or is it just?
It's just the track. Just the track that's different. The video is the same. We updated the master.
Oh, it's just a better track.
It's a better track, yeah.
No, it's just on Vimeo then. But I gave you access. If that worked.
Sorry about this, everybody. We'll be back to you in a moment.
So did you say you were done the video 3 times?
No, we have not done the video 3 times.
So I thought didn't you say that?
So we filmed it once, but because of scheduling conflicts, not all of the band could show up. So we're planning on filming additional footage later on in the semester.
I see.
And adding it to this video.
Let's watch it just a little bit.
No one around, no one here to hurt me or help me out. Late crossroads ahead, one choice has to be made. How do I know which way to go? Safety, silence, or support? What do I need? How do I know which way to go?
Okay. That wasn't.
So I think that was good. You mentioned something about Langston about monetary system. What did you mean by that? I mean, how they get paid?
I'm sorry.
In your presentation, you had monetary system. Is something you discussed it with the band. Is that how they got paid? Is that what you meant by monetary system?
Oh, I guess what I meant by that is all the money that we made from everything that we did, we are putting back into the we're putting back into the band as far as like that's how it connects to the whole artist first thing. We're like everything we made and we're reinvesting it into the band.
You know, the thing about that is it's a good idea. I'm all about artists first, but I'm also about sustainability for the business. So you can't give away everything. You got to keep something, right? I mean, maybe not in this particular situation, but just in general. So but you do have your licenses. You have a license for the song, right?
Right.
They wrote the song?
Yes, we wrote the song.
So the recording, always make the singer louder. I mean, the singer is kind of buried in that track. She could be really on top of the track, I think. Thought the sax solo was fun. I thought the graphics were fun. You know,
I
that
agree.
was a little bit different than most. But so I don't want to take too much more of your time, but
We have a mastered version of that song that sounds like very different than that. That's what we were having problems with trying to find the new version of the video. It has just the new track that's all updated with it. But that didn't work for some reason. So you'll just have to trust us.
no, I can believe that you fixed it because it needed to be fixed. But otherwise, I would think it was a nice presentation. Thank you very much for what you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Just only notes, I thought that the graphics are great. It helped keep things lively. Also, best dressed so far. Good job on dressing up for it. And yeah, Pef, you had a lot of great spirit and energy, and you do a good job as just setting the tone. So.
That means that.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
All right. So $40 on the work for hire means that we paid the picture that I showed you guys that said Surreal Estate with the house on it. We paid the artist. We paid that artist $20 to make that, and then we paid a studio bass player to play in the session because the bass player in the band couldn't make it.
Okay, so when you do your budget, you would list those things as line items.
Okay.
You know, and it's okay to call it work for hire, although that is a term of art used in the copyright statute. So some things are work for hire and some things aren't.
Definitely.
One thing that's not a work for hire is a sound recording.
Mm-hmm.
But and you have an agreement with the band for that sound recording, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. And typically, I just won't take up one more minute. Typically, the people who transfer their intellectual property should write the contract for that transfer. Now, you guys are friends, and you're an artist-friendly company, so you wrote a contract that's pro-artist. But
Yes.
in general, artists do sign contracts they're transferring their intellectual property, but the company is writing the contract, which is kind of stupid. It'd be like me selling you my house and you're writing the contract for the sale of my house.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
when you get out there, just keep that in mind. Don't let that happen to you. Thank you very much for what you did. Thank you.
All right, our faculty panel is now 3 with the addition of UP. Yeah, you can clap. And next up, we have another group of 6, so I'll just say, especially for the groups of 6, keep it moving along. And this is Gulf Entertainment Studios. Their artist is another Loyola freshman who's also in the intro project, Maya Brielle, and their manager is Matt Reichen.
Hello, my name is Matthew Reichen, and I am the manager for Maya Brielle at Gulf Entertainment Studios. So our mission statement for Gulf Entertainment Studios is to we are a service to develop new artists, opening the music industry to new and upcoming talent. And then a little bit about Maya Brielle. Maya Brielle is 18 years old. She grew up in San Francisco, California. She is basically what I guess I would call true artistry. I think that she has a way with her lyrics. When she writes music, she really connects to her audience and she really knows what to say and when to say it. She is a pop alternative artist, and not only is she amazing with her writing skills, she also is truly kind, and she was such a pleasure to work with. So.
Hey, I'm Kyle Selly. I was in charge of Studio A&R, and about Maya's record, it's called Stays the Same. It's, again, alternative rock. The entire track was recorded about 6 hours, 1 5-hour session, and then 1 1-hour session. The first 5-hour session was mostly just kind of tracking the instruments and the main vocal line, because when we first heard the song, she had her vocals and then just an acoustic guitar kind of going on with basic chords. And we wanted to expand that into something a bit more, like, I guess, individualistic. So what we did was we recorded, I did the bass, we had Liam Riley on drums, and we had Tyler Suggs on guitar, and we recorded all of the instrument tracks with just us in the group and Maya. So the first 5-hour session, we recorded the drums and the bass at the same time because we thought that was kind of like a foundation type of thing, plus it could be recorded like at the same time in the same place. And then we did vocals and guitar separately because they're more accented and more kind of upfront in the track. The second studio session was 1 hour because after we had already mixed the track for the first time, we wanted to add something a bit more. So we tried recording like harmonies, like vocal harmonies. So Maya, being as talented as she is, she actually was able to self-harmonize on the spot, which was really impressive in my opinion. But after we did that, we mixed it and we mastered it using Lander.
I am Maddie, and I'm the marketing representative for Maya. So when I started with her, the marketing plan, I really wanted to sit down with Maya and go over what she wanted for her website. And so we talked about every aspect of it. She really wanted to have a consistent theme throughout with like the color red. So the entire website is all themed that way. Then for her Instagram was our main focus because that's the popular platform for our target audience. So we scheduled posts for whenever there was like a big content release or a show coming up. And then Matt and Maya also supplemented with additional posts just in between the scheduled ones just to keep it running. And then next we have Liam with...
I'm Liam Riley. I was the live show A&R. So we chose to do our live show at the Neutral Grounds Coffee House. It took place on November 13th. It was about 45 minutes long in an hour slot. And initially we were sort of stressing about being able to set up the entire band within that hour slot because we thought there would be someone before us and behind and after us, but there ended up not being anyone, so we had ample time to sort of cram everyone into that little corner that they have for their stage. We made $3 in tips because the venue does not sell tickets, but we decided to choose this venue despite the drawbacks because it fit Maya's sort of indie pop style, and it fit her fashion sense, and we thought it did well with the overall brand. So for promotion, as you can see, we used these two images, and we posted those on both our Instagram accounts, and we used the right image to post around campus. This was done in tandem with Rebellion Records, which is the record company in our another intro group that signed Sasha Gold. And Sasha Gold did the performance with Maya as well. We did a dual performance because they're very close friends. They work well artistically together, similar styles, and from a business perspective, we wanted to pack the house, which we ended up doing. Around 50 people showed up, and that totally works for the venue. For follow-up, we made sure to film the entire performance so we could post it on YouTube or clips on Instagram, the website. We got a photographer to shoot the whole thing on film, and we got a few, I believe, Snapchats and various other things taken on the phone, so we could upload those as well and use them for the promotion, and also just to keep people engaged based on the show that they saw or may not have gotten the chance to see. We also passed around an email list sign-up sheet, and then a couple weeks after the show, 14 people signed it, so we got to send out a concert review survey to see what those 14 people thought, try and get some feedback, and sort of tweak the set for any future shows that we might be doing. And now we have Justice with Creative.
How you guys doing? My name is Justice Savoy. I was creative for Maya. Working with Maya, like, honestly, was it was fun. It was also, like, very, like, tasking in a good way. But, like, there was a lot of things that she wanted, a lot of things that were detailed and specific. So basically my job was just to, like, cater to what she needed, be there, put in ideas, give her advice on things that might not work or that, like, could work. Another one of my main, like, objectives was shooting the video. We actually shot the video at a mutual friend's house, and one of the themes that one of my mates had brought up was the red, which is her favorite color. So knowing that red was her favorite color, we understood that we had to incorporate that some way into the video. So once we shot the video, we decided to, play with the lighting, put some red lighting. We had a lot of, like, different little red objects, like, on the table and, like, just offsetting in the video. So yeah, like, that was like a major part of the visual aspect for the music video. Yeah.
I'm so sick of this. Can't stop living in my mind. Now this
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Tyler. I was legal for this project, and really quick, I'm just going to talk about some of the company expenses that we had, and also some of the challenges and accomplishments that we faced as Gulf Entertainment Studios. So for company expenses, like Liam said earlier, we made $3 in tips from the Neutral Ground show. And then we also made $30 on Bandzoogle. That was mainly for the website, and then $10 on TuneCore for that's putting the songs out there on things like Spotify and stuff like that. And $50 on the music video, and also the recording and editing for the music video. And then some of the challenges that we faced included struggling with times for meetings, because mainly it was around 6:30. You know, everyone's really hangry. You know, you don't really want to be there. But so we just kind of moved up the time a little bit to about 6:15, so we also had time, you know, for everyone to show up and also to eat and everything like that. We also, we're going to move on to future plans for Maya Brielle.
Okay, so last thing really quick, for the future plans, we want to do merchandise for Maya. So we incorporated one of her tattoos, which is the number 22. It means a lot to her. So we want to sell merch at shows. We want to do a 3-month tour with Maya called 22. It'll be a regional tour, usually like Texas, Louisiana, places like that. And then we also want to take on 2 alternative pop artists as well in the upcoming years, and then also release a full-length album for Maya. Cool. So thank you guys so much.
Just a couple of quick things. That when you do your expenses, your financials, and you say expenses, you shouldn't put your revenue up there, even though your revenue is pretty minor. So you do just a different kind of approach, a spreadsheet that may list, you know, revenue plus expenses. So you didn't make any money, right? You kind of lost a little bit of money, right?
Yeah, we lost money.
But you expect you might make it up. I didn't hear you talk about the legal documents. You mentioned the money, but you have licenses, you have releases, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have, like, we made a sync license for the venue and also for the song itself. And we have a bunch of work for hire agreements with the photographer who for the draft at the Neutral Ground, and also a bunch of work for hire for the people who are in the studio, including me, Liam, and Kyle from the band and stuff like that. And then also.
I thought the singer, what you said about her harmonizing, somebody said that? That she does do that well, and so she sounds good. I think the video tint, the red tint, probably is going too far with the red, but that's just my opinion. But otherwise, I thought you did a good job. Was the process here to wear all black, or y'all just decided to stick out, or how'd that work?
I don't own a black shirt, and he doesn't own any black, so compromising.
Well, okay, it was a nice ensemble. Yeah. You want to say something?
Yeah. First of all, good job. The biggest thing that I saw was that I wanted to focus on with you guys was just your imagery. I think she could use more professional pictures, better quality pictures, as it were. Like Snyder said, the red tint kind of gets you. It's cool, but I still couldn't tell you what she really looks like because everything was so dark and tinted up. You know, I never really saw the best picture you had of her was that one you had on the shirt or the,
Yeah,
it was
that's on all of her socials.
Yeah, like that
That's her main photo.
is an awesome image. Like, that's great. So yeah, I definitely wanted to do that. He touched on the marketing. Did you guys collect emails or anything?
Yes.
Okay, because you didn't hit on that. So did you get a lot, little, a few, kind of like? Okay, so and you're going to stay active with those emails, as it were, right? Okay, cool. No doubt. Well, good job, fellas.
We'll see. Rich has got something.
Just a quick comment. I would say about the video, the darkness of the video. I'm familiar with this artist and that song, and it's interesting because the subject matter of the song is heavy, but the song itself melodically is very light. And then Maya also is very positive person. So it's striking a balance. That video might be a little too dark for my taste for just branding for her, because part of her appeal, as you guys all know, she's a very upbeat person. But great artist, great job overall.
Just to ask one more quick question? So you had trouble getting your meeting together at 6:30, but going to 6:15 made all the difference? Well, that was an easy fix then. Oh, I see. Well, thanks very much. We appreciate your work.
Thank you.
That's why we have these presentations at 6:30, not 6:15, right? Okay, we are halfway through, and we're moving on to our sixth group of the night, and it is Soul Street Productions. Their artist was Anna Barnes, and their manager is Chase O'Halloran.
You're doing our job for us. Hey, I'm Chase O'Halloran. I'm the manager for Soul Street Productions.
I'm David Bibbs, and I was A&R.
Hello, I'm Joseph Angelette, and I was marketing.
I'm Bailey Bro, and I was illegal.
Awesome. So this is the team. A little bit about our mission. As Soul Street Records, we strive to not only be a commercially viable, but also a I mean, it's in the name, Soul Street. So we hope to create music that is influential culturally. So I think that that's the main reason that we chose the artist that we did. It's not only a matter of creating music that will be viable in the short term, but it'll affect the way that people see the world. It'll touch people, and I think that our artist Anna Barnes did a really good job with that in the single that we created. So I'm gonna hand it to David, and he's gonna talk a bit about the creation of the song.
As A&R, I had the pleasure of creating the instrumental, mixing Anna's vocals, and also making sure the song was mastered. And while I was doing that, I had the assistance of Anna, of course, and Chase. When the instrumental was finished quite early, but it took after a while, we realized that the instrumental or the whole song it didn't fit Anna's aesthetic. So we went back to the drawing board, we recreated the instrumental. We also incorporated live instruments such as saxophone and guitar, and it gave the song a more acoustic feel, which complemented Anna's voice very nicely. So here's a snippet. We're gonna play a snippet of it, and it was called Girls, by the way.
Are you trying to access the video on a Loyola Drive? If you are, you have to use your Loyola email.
By the way, the DAW program that we used to create the song was Logic Pro X, and we used Lender to master it. So
where did you record it?
we recorded it in Studio B.
Who was your engineer?
Jake was. Jake was the engineer. He was very good, actually.
You could keep talking. I mean, you had a gig, right?
Well, here, I'll just go to the marketing. Hi, again, I'm Joseph. I did the marketing, and the first thing that I wanted to work on marketing-wise was getting her a website, because that's the only thing that she didn't really have. We spent about $20 working on Bandzoogle, and we have a screenshot of that homepage, and I think it looks great. She already had high quality pictures already taken in the park that met her aesthetic under her terms, because she had taken them on her own time beforehand. And I think the website looked great, and it really took the social medias that she already had and already had well established, like her Facebook, her YouTube, and her Instagram, already having thousands of followers each collectively. And we were able to put them all into the one website, which we were able to spread out to her fans. And what I was also worried about as the marketing man was promoting events. And originally we were going to play a live show at a house party being held by one of our students here, but it got postponed and eventually canceled. So we ended up playing a live performance at Santa Sunday, which was actually on a Tuesday, but it kept the name Santa Sunday. And we have a clip of that as well. And that was pretty fun.
So how did you market it?
We put out pictures with the poster, and we put it out on her social media, as well as the website to call to arms for.
You marketed the website by using social media, and you marketed the gig by using posters.
Yes.
And social media.
Is there any other way that you drove traffic to the website?
Besides word of mouth, unfortunately, no. We are doing present and future attempts to put out advertising more so. We have put in about $20, $30 towards advertisement. However, that is not hit in full effect yet. It's getting there.
So
it's in the process.
It was your group and the previous group. They said the market was college students. That's a pretty interesting market, because those college students like all kinds of music.
Yes.
And all kinds of music. It's not, you're not making music for all kinds of people. You're making music for a particular target market. What would you call her target market?
I would call it more of a soulful, vibey, chill aesthetic. Maybe for someone that doesn't really like to go to a big venue, or one that has a loud noise with synthesized,
Okay, so I think what John might be asking you is, if you were registering the song with Mediabase, DDS, or Nielsen, what would the category be under?
R&B and jazz.
So there's your market.
Yeah.
We'd like to play a clip of the song. I think that should also speak for the genre.
At the end of the night, he knows my name, the kind of calculus, and I don't really understand how things could have added on to this. I don't do feelings, but they're tying. That's what we've been. I was to sleep, and then I wouldn't be mistreated. Here I am. Bad girls, no, like some bad girls, chasing all the trouble like the love you never had. Good girls, how do you feel? Never really eyes on what is real. I've wasted so much time chasing the halo that'll never be mine. No, it'll never be mine.
Thank you. So Joe has talked about marketing and the live performance. So I figured the next thing that we can do, we can talk about legal matters, and then we can move on to what the live performance looks like.
So as legal, I had the opportunity to construct all of our agreements and group documents as far as our artist is concerned. So working with Anna, I had the opportunity to make a relationship with her to the point where I didn't really have to ask her what should be included and what she didn't want in her agreements, because I already kind of knew that. So working with her, we got her signed up on BMI and DistroKid, and some of the documents that I made were the group and artist agreement, as well as the works for hire for the features that she had on her song, which were Pef on the saxophone and Jacob on the guitar. Thank you.
Awesome. So as a culmination of all of these things, the legal contracts, all the work we put into the song and marketing, we had this final show. And so here we see Anna singing her original song in the Music Complex 421. So, no, we didn't have a music video. We were exempt because of the number of people in our group. So.
Well, my understanding of the group is you've got to do all the jobs that need to be done.
Sure.
I mean, you can't sell that artist without a music video.
Right.
Usually if they only have 4 dates. Oh, that's excused. So one other thing, the sax.
Yes.
I guess you're not done. There's one other interruption about the sax.
Sure.
The sax was very interesting.
Yes.
It did get in the way
Okay.
of the vocal. And when you have sax fills to a vocal, they should be playing when the vocal is not singing.
Sure.
But the solo was fascinating.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Let's see, where is the presentation?
You said BMI registration. Did you register her as a publisher and a writer, or just a writer?
I believe, I believe that she is just a writer currently because the publisher costs money, but once the royalties start coming in, then we're going to make we're going to do both.
That's the only source of money from a song that's paid to 2 different people.
Sure.
Everything else is paid to the publisher. So
Right.
she's missing half the money right now.
Right.
There's no money coming in if there's no music out there to be played.
The money stays in a royalty. It stays in some sort of collection place that once you sign up, I believe you receive it.
As a writer, but not as publisher, it's a separate thing.
Okay.
If she doesn't sign up as a publisher, she will not get half the money.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure to do that.
She is the publisher of the song.
Okay. So following this live performance, we have a number of accomplishments that we're proud of. So for example, first we distributed the song via DistroKid, and so that's getting songs on all platforms. We're excited about that. Anna also handled a lot of the kind of marketing of her song. She took it into her own hands without really kind of needing us to do much. So an example of this is she knew somebody who knew somebody. She was able to get the song played on the radio in South Carolina. So we were excited about that. We also got a number of views, I think 60 or something views on the live stream as it was happening. So not only were people there in person, but we were able to extend the audience to the internet as a whole, and we were paid $35 from donations from that. So we're excited about that. Anna's also doing a tour this summer. So we're excited, and we're not going to continue to manage her after the end of the semester, but we are really happy to be able to create this momentum via the shows, via the single, and all of that to allow her to carry things on in the future.
But it sounded like she was already in motion, right?
She was, yes. She was in motion in the sense she had not put out a song before, and so that was, and she hadn't played many gigs in the city. So it was our position of kind of spreading her presence to the Loyola and outside in terms of fan base, and also recording professionally her music. So these are the way that we distributed expenses, pretty simple. Marketing, website, show. As a hypothetical, we thought a bit about if we were to continue, given the $250,000 investment. Her music, produced and also live, kind of speaks for itself. It sells itself, in my opinion, and so it doesn't take a lot of, it doesn't take a lot. And so in our hypothetical plan, that's what we would do is do the majority of it on tour support and recording. So yeah, that's the end of our presentation. If you all have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer. We'd all be happy to answer.
Did we see a website?
We do have a website. I can pull that up.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't see a website.
Sure.
I want to say this, though. You guys are one of the fortunate groups where you get an artist that seems like your artist was ready to go.
Yes.
And had a lot of motivation behind her.
Yes.
And what she does. I have one kind of comment, as it were, from watching the live performance. And there are a lot of female singers who kind of fall into this category.
Sure.
Because of the style of singing she's doing. Make sure she has clarity behind when she sings.
Okay.
Because she has a tendency to... It's very lazy.
Right. Stylistic,
and
but
open, but people got to understand what you're saying.
Sure.
So it needs to be clear enough, at least for me, to understand it.
Yes.
Also, you know what radio station you got played on in South Carolina?
I don't. I would ask her, but I can get back to you about that.
You guys should know that.
Sure.
And also, the reason I'm asking is because I know the regional program director for North and South Carolina.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to know who it was and find out how it really is doing.
Will do.
You know, and is it still getting played, or was it a one-time thing?
I believe it's continuous. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, no, great job on that.
Thank you.
The only thing I would say about the live stream is that you could position it a little bit better. The music stand was in the way, and you know you're in the wrong spot. So if you're going to go to that trouble, get a little bit better shot.
Yeah.
You know, because you're expecting people to watch it on the internet. So, but otherwise, you know, I think you did a pretty complete job. Rich is good. Thank you very much for what you did.
Thank you.
Do you need this?
You starting it off, Greg?
I am. Unlocked, correct? Yes. So you have the video.
Alrighty. Unlocked Records. Their artist, Skylar Stone, and we're going to start it off with their manager, Grace Willoughby.
Hello, everyone. I'm Grace or Gray, and we're going to introduce our artist, Skylar. We're Unlocked Records, and we are called that because we are unlocked and open to new genres and new ideas and promoting new artists especially. So Skylar's right up there. He was a brand new recording artist, and we're going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek to his song as well as video.
Seems like I never do a lot of thinking, no. Shawty do a lot of drinking, so you got me when my mood was swinging low. Always see me burning after smoke. Lipstick shirt, she can never know. I've been on the surface sinking slow. Blue boy stuck in the indigo. If you know the words, then sing it with me now. I've been lost deep inside my thoughts for a while now. What's left to smile about? Except her touch, her touch, her touch, her touch.
So today we are down a member. Yesterday we were just informed that our marketing member will not be joining us for the rest of the semester. So I'll take over and I'll kind of explain what she did. She was in charge of the website. Skylar already had a social media presence. We really focused on his Instagram though. So we did a social media campaign using photos that Gray over here took in order to kind of promote Skylar and his aesthetic. He is the original sad boy bedroom pop. That's his tagline for his genre. And Haley and I, in combination with Skylar and Works for Hire, also were able to produce some merchandise, which I'll show you later on, and here's some photos of him. And also, I think, to my understanding, her biggest struggle was the website, because she had never done anything like that before. However, on the website, you were able to see the photographs that Gray took, his newest release, which is his single Lonely, and his upcoming shows and tour dates. And we also plan to put an edited version of this video up on his website, so it'll be pretty cool, I think. Here's some photos that Gray took for his social media campaign here at Loyola. All right, and so next I'm gonna introduce you to Hunter, who's our A&R representative. He's gonna talk to you a little bit about what he did. Actually, we're gonna introduce you to Gray next, who was our creative director. Sorry about that, here you go.
Hey, I'm Gray. I was the creative director. I was in charge of doing the music video and the pictures, which are gonna come up in a second. So I think the most important thing I took away from this was just remaining open-minded. We actually ended up with 2 videos, and just because how things went, we got a new video from my friend Tennessee, and that was the video Skylar wanted to go with. So yeah, so we kind of went with that, and I just learned that it's pretty much about keeping the artist happy. So I think that was my main goal. Yeah. So this is the video we filmed at my house and at a skate park, and then there'll be also some footage of the video Tennessee filmed at the live show.
I've been on the surface sinking slow. Blue boy stuck in the indigo. If you know the words, then sing it with me now. I've been lost deep inside my thoughts for a while now. What's left to smile about?
All right, and next I'm gonna introduce you to Hunter, who was our A&R executive, who worked on the record with Skylar. So take it away.
Okay, so as Skylar's A&R, I was of course responsible for any musical needs he needed, and as well as releasing any of his tracks on Spotify. Of course, he had already had SoundCloud, and so what I did was I released the single that you are hearing on CD Baby. However, before this track, we had a recording session, and once that time happened, Skylar unfortunately didn't have a song ready. So what we did was we had hired Michael Sparks, who was also a freshman in the intro, and a friend of his, Gabe, and they created a track in half an hour, and it really sounded great. And Skylar also had lyrics, for the song, and that was a great thing too. And we got everything done so quickly, and that was a great progress to have. However, the outcome of the song, it didn't really fit his vision as an artist for his genre. So so then he told us that he had recorded another song, which is Lonely, that we released, and it really fit his vision. And that was the one thing that we wanted to make sure. I even heard the song, and it sounded really good. So I was really glad that the song came out well.
So I'm Valerie. I was in charge of the legal process of putting together the binder for the record label. Basically, my role is mostly like the part that feels most like homework, but it was actually really interesting because it opened me to a part of the music industry that I had never really seen before. I produced some of the documents that involved our agreements with the producers, the artists, the releases for the video, and all of the copyright stuff that is actually really important for any musician because it's part of the process, and it's what really pushes the artist out there.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to show you some of the merchandise we worked on, which was all Skylar's original art, which you can kind of see some of his sketches and inspiration up here if you guys want to like hold these up. So we did a couple of t-shirt demos and pillowcases as well because we wanted to kind of do something funky like that. So this is all Skylar's original art. We did a work for hire and had them screen print, so I think they turned out pretty cool. They say blue boy and lovesick, so yep. Y'all can continue to model. Like, this is beautiful. Yes, so I'm Grace, or Gray, as some of y'all know me, and I was the manager for my group. And my main role was to kind of keep us together as a group, which worked pretty well until yesterday, but that's okay. We still worked really well together. We didn't ever really come across any situations where we felt the need to fire anyone, which was super beneficial. We got along really well. My main thing was keeping everybody meeting on a regular basis, as well as keeping financial records and minutes of our meetings. So I was in charge of the budget, which will be up here in just a second, and that was how we decided to spend our money. And so as you can see here, we did not make a profit. We actually lost. But why I think this is okay is because Skylar is a brand new recording artist, and he's never put out music like this before, and I thought, you know, it's much better for him to perform live and to gain a following for a free audience before he begins to charge people. So I've been encouraging him recently to consider charging a cover fee soon, because he has played 2 free shows, and his first show actually was at the Labyrinth, and he had a turnout of, I want to say, close to 100 people. It was very impressive. And he's also on Spotify, and he currently, at last time I checked, he has 155 people who have listened to his song through their account, so probably even more people have heard it. And so here's the flyer from his first show. And he's played a second one since on December 3rd, and it went really well. And yeah, no, he's just really kind of been grinding. We definitely had a couple setbacks with that because our biggest challenge, I would say, with Skylar is he's a perfectionist, which was, you know, whereas a group, we wanted to meet our deadlines, but he was really artistic, and he was really true to his vision, which I really appreciated in the long run because we were able to make great art that way. So we made sure that we put on a show that he was really happy with and that we were really happy with, even if it wasn't on the original date. Because like we said at the beginning, we're Unlocked Records and we're all about the artist. And yeah, so overall, I think we were pretty successful as a group, and Skylar now has a pretty big following around campus. So every time I've talked to people about my artist, they're like, oh yeah, no, I know Skylar. So yeah, it's been overall pretty exciting. So thank you guys.
Great job, y'all.
Can I just jump in real quick
Yes, you may, Lo.
before the faculty feedback? I just want to thank those of you who are sitting out there right now without a device in your hand, who are looking down at the stage and the presenters. That is what we want you to do. If you got a phone in front of you, got a laptop in front of you, got the Don Passman book in front of you. I like to see the Don Passman book being read most places. Not here, though, because everybody's down here doing this for the first time, and it's not easy. They want your attention. Give them the gift of your attention, please. And on Wednesday, let's all do that. How about that, all right? Okay, take it away, Rich.
Grace, you have a very good presenting voice. Very positive, very big. It fills the room. It was easy to pay attention to you. All you guys the same. Your energy was very good. My one note is, I have to do this a lot, is stay positive. It sounds like you had a disaster with a member of your team, but right now y'all are like, you're pitching. I don't need to know that. I would never would have known if you not mentioned it. So, of course, in the back of my mind now, I'm thinking, ooh, what happened? And I'm thinking about the drama. I shouldn't be thinking about that. I should just be enjoying the artist. And the main thing is, I loved how you guys had video and music happening throughout your presentation. Me, as an ADD person, cannot thank you enough. That kept me fully engaged. Really good. So thanks for that good presentation format.
Thank you.
I agree. I doubled that. One thing I'll say is also that the nice hook in that song, a very memorable hook. So I think people will walk away with that in their heads, and that's quite an accomplishment. And I love the pillowcase idea. I mean, I've never seen that before. That's good. That's different. Why did you pick CD Baby?
It was the most convenient platform. It was just kind of our first thought, and we looked into it, and we're like, this seems like something that can work. So we decided to go with that.
There is all those platforms are somewhat different, and there is a website called Song Hack, and it has a chart where they list all the different platforms and why you would pick one over the other. And do you have a reason for picking it?
So, well, I mean, really, as Grace said, it was one of the, of course, distributions that were kind of like the top ones, and so that was kind of the one that I kind of had in my mind kind of set on. Like I thought, why not just do CD Baby, and that was pretty much the only reason why I thought that would have been a good one. I'm pretty as you said, of course.
They take a back end, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
TuneCore doesn't, and Chance the Rapper put his stuff through TuneCore, and so did a couple other major stars. You might want to consider that.
Drake got started on TuneCore.
Okay.
Just so you know. First of all, yes, video idea thing, that ballin', dope. When you were talking about his followers, did you guys collect emails?
No, actually, we didn't.
See, there you go.
We did think about it, but in this, we decided to kind of like channel our resources elsewhere on his social media platforms and kind of build that following, because in this day and age, people who listen to Sad Boy Bedroom Pop are not really big on email, even though we have talked about it in class as being an effective method.
You'd be surprised.
Good,
because
okay.
I'm gonna be Billy here really quick and tell you would really be surprised how important, like if he had a show and 100 people showed up, that's 100 active people that will be following him. Anything he comes out with from that point, you as the label and him as the artist have at least 100 people that you can contact immediately, and they become your super fans, and you'll learn about that also. Super fans and fans and just kind of people who listen. You want super fans, and super fans would follow whatever you do. So that, and my only other question is, once again, I love the pillowcase. You guys have merch, awesome. My only question is, why Blue Boy and Lovesick when the name of the song is Lonely, and what does Blue Boy and Lovesick have to do with him as an artist?
That's more of a question for Skylar, because he sent me a bunch of artwork and original photos. So Blue Boy, I know, is a lyric within his song. And I think Lovesick kind of goes along with the Sad Boy Bedroom Pop vibe. It was a phrase, I guess, that he stuck with him, and it was a design that I thought would work really well on these pillowcases and shirts. So
I think the one thing you guys missed an opportunity on, though, with doing that merch is the song name.
Yeah.
And his name.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Thank you.
Great job, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Granite Records. Their artist is the amazing, can I say that? Because she is. She's amazing. Lena, and their manager is Nolan Cantrell. Take it away, Nolan.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're representing Granite Records. I'm already the manager, Nolan Cantrell, and with me I have, starting with Kyle, Isabella, and Gabe with me. And like you said earlier, our artist is Lena J. And who is she? So she's a singer-songwriter. She's from Memphis, Tennessee, so not too far away from here. Her genre is generally a mixture of R&B, pop, and soul music, which obviously she draws from the likes of Alicia Keys, Stevie Wonder, and Jill Scott, all talented singers and songwriters. And another thing to note about her is that she is very hands-on in like what she wants for her creative process and her vision for everything from sonically to visually. And yeah. And so for managing the artist relations with her, as I was saying, she was already very hands-on. which was super cool to work with and be able to get that instant feedback. And the work was challenging but rewarding. A couple of challenges that we faced early on, obviously, were scheduling times, which was rough, but we got this ironed out eventually. And also, when we went to the studio, we were working in Ableton Live, and our TA really did not know anything about Ableton at all, so kind of had to do the whole session by myself, but no big deal. And yeah, also we're just experimenting a lot with a bunch of different textures in the sounds, and listening from the very first demo that we made back at my place compared to the final mix and master product, it's completely different. It's actually really cool to hear that.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Brown, and I am the legal affairs representative for Granite Records. And my primary job was to handle all of her legal documents. Just some of the ones we took care of were the work for hire agreements, which were actually quite easy because almost all of our work, if not all of our work, was done in-house with the exception of our TA because Nolan helped a lot with production. I helped with some of the direction of the video, as did Gabe with some of the concepts. Bella helped with editing a lot, and Anna did the marketing and photography, and Nolan did the videography for the video. So we were very in-house run things, which made my job a little bit easier. And once again, Elena was very hands-on with the legal stuff. When with the legal affairs, because as soon as I wrote the contract, she said, okay, let me keep it for a few days, and I'm going to read over it and make sure everything's good. Excuse me. And that was very assuring to me that we picked an artist who was she was invested in every aspect of the project. So I just made sure that everything we did legally was together, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bella Clayton, and I was in charge of A&R for the label. So this was like my first time taking on that position, and it definitely was like a learning experience for me. So originally for the production of Lost and Found, it actually started with Lena. We had the lyrics, and then she had piano chords for it, and we handed it to Nolan. And we originally did the demo on his computer, and we used live Ableton 9. And then shortly after, we went to the studio, and we worked for hours, and we used live studio Ableton 10, and we did like a lot of experimenting at first. We experimented with like sample drums, but it didn't really fit the vibe. So we ended up using like conga drums, and like for like the beginning of the intro, we used strings also, and for the chorus. And we like realized that like as we were going through it, as we were getting past like the song, we noticed that there were a lot of gaps in the song that we needed to fill in. So we definitely added a lot of things. So we added like snaps and bass, and it was actually Lena's idea to, we recorded her clapping, actually, like clapping a beat to just to, like add in, fill in gaps a little bit more. And we had her do harmonies for like some background vocals, and like towards the last chorus, we, like I suggested that we do like a soft drum buildup to kind of make a distinct and dramatic kind of ending. And just working with Lena was just, we definitely like all created, we all like had a relationship with her, and she was open to a lot of ideas, but at the same time, she knew what sound she was going for, and she was very precise. And as an artist, I think that's very important because she had a clear image of what she wanted. So this is the music video for Lost and Found.
Sometimes I feel so tired of putting on a face each and every day. 'Cause when I look in the mirror, all I see is the pain. But even still, I know it's gonna be okay.
And for the video production, so Lost and Found was filmed at Audubon Park, and Nolan was our cameraman, and we filmed with Lena's camera, and like we said before, she had a very clear vision of what she wanted. We all worked together on choosing like what shots we wanted, and I worked with Lena on editing the video and figuring out the sequence for the shots that we did take. So I'm gonna hand it over to Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Filatico. I am the marketing rep for Lena. I also took on the role of a photographer and helped design some of her merch that we hope to put out. So before this project, Lena didn't have a website, so we used Bandzoogle to create this. It was very easy to work with. We got our own domain name, and as you can see, it has a good, it can transfer from computer to the phone very well. So with the website, I wanted to kind of capture her personality so her fans could get to know her when they come to the website. So one of her big things is she loves pastels, so we try to incorporate that. And it's also just a very easy way to see her, find out what's coming next, and listen to her music. So I also helped with her social media. She had them beforehand, and she had a very strong following to begin with. I came along to kind of refine and make sure that her her social medias were portrayed her and her music very well. So yeah. And our achievements are that we published a single and a music video, and on her social medias, she has reached over 2,000 followers on Instagram and over 1,000 on Twitter.
So this was our concept for a live show. Unfortunately, Elena's vocal cords right now are stressed, so we are not able to put it on. I had actually talked to DJ, one of the TAs here, and we had booked room 421 for a show, and Elena and I had started coming up with a set list from the beginning, including 2 originals, one of hers featuring, where she's featured on a song with David Bibbs called Rendezvous, and Lost and Found, which you just heard, and some other covers from some of her inspirations, Alicia Keys, Jill Scott, Beyonce. It was going to be an amazing show, and we even had a little Christmas theme with some great Christmas covers. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen, but you know, with the flyer and promotion of this, once again, another thing she was hands-on with. Anna and I sent her about 2 or 3 things, and we settled on this one after we had to edit it. So it was amazing working with her, and I was very honored to get to do that.
And yeah, for our future goals. So as a label, our first future goal is obviously going to expand our current artist's vision and make sure that she as an artist can see through everything artistically she wants to. And the next thing was to acquire more artists for the label. And we want these artists to fit the same aesthetic and vibe. So current listeners will be attracted to those artists, and maybe they can collaborate with each other, similar to other labels like TDE. They're on the rise right now, or Dreamville right now. And the last one would be have everything we have in-house, advertisers, designers, producers. So if our artist ever needs anything, we have it right there that second. And yeah, it's Granite Records. Thank you.
Great job, you guys. Just 2 comments. One, Lena, her voice is excellent. She's very appealing artist. I wanted to hear more of the track. I was liking where it was going with the production. The video sequence, just the storytelling of the video struck me as it could be fine-tuned and improved. When you start in the park out there and then all of a sudden you're back at the makeup counter, I would probably, just from a narrative, I would start smaller inside and then have it move that way, but just otherwise great.
You mentioned the legal documents, but you didn't mention what they were. So do you have all that you need? Do you have anybody who plays in the recording has to sign a release.
Right.
And so that's something that I'm not sure everybody's doing, because just because they played, they volunteered, and maybe even because you pay them is not sufficient. You have to have a release to use their name and likeness.
Right.
So I assume you took care of things like that. And just a note to everybody, when you register with ASCAP or BMI as a publisher, you want to do that before you do your LLC, because they're not going to take every name that you offer. They may not use the name that you filed for your LLC. So always do it ASCAP or BMI Publishing first. And so she's probably a songwriter at one of the PROs, right?
Right, yes.
But she probably isn't a publisher, right?
No, she's not.
She's going to have to do that at some point. But that doesn't really matter until she has some significant airplay, which is probably going to be a while away. What else? No live show is not good, but you can only do what you can do, right? The social media numbers are good. You raised those numbers?
Yeah, Anna did a great job with social media. And what did she start with? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was below 1,000 on Instagram, so we really got a lot of followers on that.
Okay. Well, I thought you did well. Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
First question: who's your TA?
Joe. Don't remember his last name.
I got you.
Yeah,
We'll
that
write
one.
that down.
Yeah.
All right. Now, question: were you producing the record in the studio, or did you have the? Because what it sounded like is you went in, but you didn't have any idea for the song, so you were trying to create it on the same time you were running the recording session. So that's why you wanted to use Ableton.
Yeah, we had a pretty rough draft. Like, we had the whole song laid out. We just didn't have, I guess, all the little extra percussions and other instruments we added in, like the guitar and stuff later. Because we just honestly weren't really like sure what needed to be added, I guess. Because she usually does stay in R&B, and you know, that kind of genre, and she really like kind of went left field with this soulful more approach, you know.
Right. What I would suggest, just to help you in the future, when you do something like that, because a lot of studios you go to, it depends on what programs they have or whatever. You want to have all the pre-production out of the way so that the engineer can put it in whatever DAW there. Usually it'll be Pro Tools, which is the industry standard. And then, you know, Ableton is kind of like a niche kind of thing when it comes to major recording studios. You're not going to go in like the Hit Factory and they just pull out Ableton and be like, all right, let's go. So that's something you need to be aware of. So do all your pre-production and everything before you go to the main studio to do recording. Even if you need to do a scratch track or a dummy track or whatever with the singer just in the closet or on the phone, just to get the ideas down for her. So that'll just help you in the future so you don't have that problem again.
For sure, thank you.
Make any money? You didn't make any money because you didn't have a gig, and that's really the only way you can make money.
We definitely lost money.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days.
Good job, though, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Alan, are you still up in the booth? Alan. Alan. He's literally not there. Okay. What's that? Just tell him to crank up the music. I think the music's been a little soft. Either that or I'm deaf. Or I'm deaf and I still want it to be louder. Okay. Second to last group tonight is Beaver Music Group, appropriately named. And their artist is another Loyola freshman, Roderick Taylor, and their manager is Alex Curry. Oh, but we're starting with Kobe? Okay, we're starting with Kobe.
Where's Diego? All right, yeah. Hi, welcome everyone for coming. We're a Beaver Music Group, and this past semester we've been working with our artist, Roderick Taylor, who is also a freshman living in Beaver Hall. And yeah, here's that.
BMG is committed to guiding, counseling, and working hand in hand with New Orleans up-and-coming musical artists to create new opportunities for them in the music industry and expand their talent and brand and expectation that their careers grow exponentially while and well after working with BMG. I am Alex Curry. I'm the manager of the group.
My name's Johnny. I was the A&R for the group. I was in charge of selecting our artist, putting together the studio session, and then releasing the track.
My name is Diego. I was the other A&R. I was in charge of the live show.
My name is Amaya, and I'm the creative director of BMG.
I'm Connor Finney. I am the marketing director.
And I'm Kobe Cohen. I was the legal representative and helped book the venue.
All right, so first I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about our artist. So once again, we were working with Roderick Taylor, who is from Houston, Texas. I'd say one of the best things about Roderick is his ability to write a song. He's one of the strongest lyricists I know out here. He's also very good at capturing emotion. He has a very vibrant sound, but he also still has that nostalgic feel to him. I think once you hear his music, you'll kind of understand what I'm saying more. So he was just a lot of fun to work with, and he's just incredibly talented.
Okay, so a little background about Roderick is that before he came to Loyola, he had an established social media presence as well as some released music on music platforms. But what we wanted to do for him was kind of convert that into physical, like on-campus and community support so that we could have future venues and shows and stuff.
Okay, so right out the jump, we got in contact with Roderick and signed the artist agreement on September 16th, and the term was to last the semester. A couple of the points that we put on the artist agreement were that we would split all revenue from live performance, streaming, merch, anything that we ended up doing, 60% to us, 40% to Roderick. And another big point on that was that because Roderick already had his social media presence, out there as an artist and a person, we wouldn't have any access to his social media, and we would be more of a guidance form for him to, give him advice on promotion and all of that, but we would not have any access. And also, as it says, we would not have any rights to any of his music. It was all Roderick.
Okay, so the song that we ended up releasing with Roderick was titled Angels in My Room. It was produced by Alex Curry here. It was mixed and mastered by Jake Smith, and it was written by Roderick himself. So the process of getting the song done had its highs and lows. Some of the easier parts came as far as booking the studio session and getting him and Jake, the engineer, on the same page. They're both from Texas, and they're both freshmen, so they'd seen each other around, so that building that relationship wasn't as hard. The difficulties started to come as we were starting to mix and master the track. We did have a rough mix done originally, but we ended up going back and putting on the final mix and mastering touches later in the semester, so we would have liked to be more on time with that. And then the song also dropped on SoundCloud first. The reason behind that is because Roderick's fan base was already coming from SoundCloud. Primarily, he had never released a song on any of the major streaming platforms, so we wanted to get that song out to those people that have been supporting him thus far first, and then getting it to the rest of the world later. So we ended up going with CD Baby. The reasoning behind this was first because of the really appealing PRO package, and then also they have really detailed analysis, so we kind of knew who was listening to Roderick and where they were listening from. And lastly, just financially, the payment plan was really solid, paying a one-time fee as opposed to paying every year, every month. Just kind of sounded more appealing to us. So behind me, you'll see the statistics of Roderick's SoundCloud before and after we started working with him. So still to this day, his biggest song sits at about 820 plays. In the first week since we dropped the song, which is actually very recent, we did about 414 plays just in that first week alone. And we have about 16 likes. And since we've dropped the song, he's gotten 4 new followers on SoundCloud. So we've been very satisfied with those statistics so far.
As you all may know, my name is Amaya, and to elaborate on my creative role in Roger's musical journey, I would like to show you a short clip of his music video, Angels in My Room, which he edited, directed, and filmed himself with the help of his fellow colleagues. Well, well, while that's getting started, I would like to say that Roderick is a very creative guy, like extremely, and like I always say myself, he's very gifted, and it was like amazing just listening to him and express how passionate he is about himself and his music and what he wants to do with his life, and I'm just like, well, I'm here for you, and we can ride on this together. So.
Black silhouette, showered in gold. Ooh, calls out my name, shows me the world. Show me the world, show me the world. Emotional night, boy with a dream. Visions of something so tangible, my soul's free. I wanna set the bar, I wanna be center stage. The world would know my name, treat me like a king. Spotlight on me, big white smile on your TV screen. I want to find the things.
Okay, so as you can see, this isn't your typical cliche music video that flexes the fly of New Orleans rather than the aspiration of the artist. Roger himself is creatively gifted, allowing him to see exactly how he wants his image to be portrayed. And with my help with guiding and suggesting ideas to better capture his visual perspective, he successfully executed his theme of lightheartedness, coming to himself as an artist, and dreams of becoming a star with the use of film effects to create his edgy vintage aesthetic for his music.
Like I said, I was in charge of the live performance. We actually just played yesterday at the Labyrinth with DJ Squishy and Young Pico. With Roderick's help, I helped choose some songs and arrange them. Some covers, some originals. I used my own personal band for the project, so that was a little bit easier, and it's a little different than the usual just backing track, which rappers or some other artists use. We met up a couple times beforehand. Everything went really well. Roderick was kind of in charge of like guiding us in the right direction. I would later translate that to more direct musical terms with the band.
All right, so I'm Connor Finney. I'm the marketing director, and for marketing for the show, we wanted to post on social media, put as many flyers around campus as possible, and then when the show happened, we took videos, photos, and even got a lot of emails at the door. And for the future of Roderick's career, he wants to put his music overseas and start growing a fan base over in Europe. And how we're gonna do that is he has a lot of personal connections, so we're gonna be able to spread the word around also with social media and all again streaming platforms. And the website, I wanted it to sort of look like the way of Roderick's music and style, and I wanted to be very simple and very lifelike at the same time, and basically describing his overall presence. And speaking of presence, Roderick's presence is very authentic and very has an interesting meaning to it, and as marketing it, we wanted to adapt that because, of course, before he already had experience of what he wanted to look like and how his style, how he wanted that to look like. So we wanted to keep on doing that to be sure to continue it as his career goes on.
So speaking on finances, at the beginning of the semester, each member of our group invested $20 towards Roderick's career, totaling a $120 investment, and we sat down and came up with a budget that we wanted to do where we would put most of our money towards marketing and promotion while still leaving a cushion for a potential venue booking and in case we needed to buy any extra flyers or anything, and then also the aggregator cost to release his music. We ended up spending $50. We partnered with Renaissance, a Loyola-based company run by Skylar Allen and Max Taylor, to do a SoundCloud promotion. When we released a song on SoundCloud, $10 for a flyer, and then around $45 there was a sale, but plus the PRO registration package with CD Baby that we went with the aggregator. And we did not make any money. It was a complete investment with nothing on the return yet, but we're gonna get there in the next semester. In terms of contracts and agreements, on top of the artist and group agreement that I talked about earlier, There were a lot of work for hires and releases that had to be written, including the work for hires for all the band members that we used in the live arrangement at the live show, the extra production help we got, releases signed by anyone who was in the music video you saw, liability releases. And then I did write a venue contract for the Labyrinth to see and sign, even though they are a nonprofit and didn't take a booking fee. But the extra $15 that we had left over from our 120 investment, we are donating to the Labyrinth as a show of good gesture for letting us use their venue, and Loyola use their venue continuously for this project.
Okay, so in the coming years, like we stated in our mission statement, we're planning to develop him both as a brand and as an artist. So we wanted to focus on some characteristics of him, and he has kind of like a homegrown authenticity and originality in his music that we thought we could use to get people to really follow him and get behind him. So we're taking the Labyrinth footage and putting it into an EPK, and we're gonna shop him around to some venues to see if we can get him some more exposure to some other places, as well as submitting to Skunk Radio in London to try to get his music overseas. Yes. That is it. Thank you.
I liked how you've justified the use of CD Baby. You know, you told us why you did that. That was convincing. The video, I take it you had nothing to do with, right? Did y'all have anything to do with it?
He directed it himself and edited it as well.
So he shot it, he directed it. You didn't really have much to do with it.
I gave him ideas. I suggested ideas because I wanted him to have full control of what he wanted.
I thought it was interesting that vintage approach was kind of different. And by the way, you're great.
Oh, thank you.
The way you present and the way you're like rapping while you're presenting or something. Really, really impressive. I think I'll pass it up to.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I love the name is hilarious. Beaver Music Group. Just like you know, you will not be able to use BMG. Yeah, that's what is it? Bertelsmann Music Group, which is under Sony Music. You'll never use that BMG. Let's see. Now, I was a little confused. You started talking about the contracts, and he was signed for like 4 months or something, and what's going on with that?
Well, the term, instead of doing it by album or single release, we decided to do it till the end of the semester, which was December 14th, as it was a semester project. So anything and everything that he wanted to do in between the beginning of the project and to the end of semester one, we would be managing him and helping him with.
Okay. So my only, I guess, problem, as it were, with everything that you guys have done is that I appreciate how much you guys give to the artists, but it seems at no point do you focus on, we're a music label and we should focus on making money also. And it seems like that was the part that everybody missed. It's like, yeah, the artist did this, the artist did that, it's his vision, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. That's nice. But where do you make money?
I think we were focused more on let's get things done now in hopes for in Roderick's future career we would work with him and get money there. I think you're right. We had tunnel vision in terms of let's.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that you did that, but never lose focus that you got to pay bills also. And my last thing before is the SoundCloud release thing. I get why you said you did it like that, but you still could have done a simultaneous release, because you'd be surprised. Somebody might hear it on SoundCloud and immediately purchase it. You get what I'm saying? And that way you drive people to help you make money. It's all about money. Because SoundCloud, you're not making any money. That's just like, hey, free music, here you go. All right, be quiet now.
I would say that one thing about SoundCloud, it is true you won't make any money, but the curse of the artist is anonymity. So until you get known, I mean, you're not going to make any money. So, but you have to get off SoundCloud eventually, that's for sure. Anyway, Rich, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can we get one round of applause for all the groups who presented tonight? And I want to also thank Alan Howard for helping us out, and I want to thank our camera person. I don't know your name. And I want to thank our faculty panel, Rich Collins, John Snyder, UP Cooper. Let's hear it for them. And tomorrow night, we're going to do this again. And here's the deal. We expect the groups tomorrow night to do better, because you've had a whole night to see what works, what doesn't, and try to capitalize on the experience of seeing all the groups from tonight. And our faculty panel tomorrow is also going to be different. We're going to have Kate Duncan, Mia Borders, Elizabeth Kelly, and Billy O'Connell down here. I want you guys to plan on rehearsing your presentations to a 9-minute goal. Go for 9 minutes. 10 is the absolute max, but go for 9 minutes. And without further ado, our last group of the night, Metanoia Records. I'm going to hand it off to their manager, Carter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carter. I'm the manager.
I am Craig Arsenault. I'm also the co-manager. And missing here tonight is Armand. He is our legal representative. He had other engagements, last-minute situation.
Hi, I'm Grayson Word. I'm A&R.
Hey, I'm Chloe Woodburn. I'm marketing.
I'm Will Warren. I was creative.
All right. So at Metanoia Records, like to say first off, we're an indie record label based right here in the great state of Louisiana, New Orleans. We're, really the power behind us is soul music. That's something that we're real passionate about. And our goal is really to take artists and talented artists and utilize that passion and that drive and that soulful music and kind of harness that talent into something, where these artists can succeed. And through their success, we succeed as a label.
Judah Chong is an R&B jazz soul man based here in New Orleans. He majors in musical education and plays bass, drums, guitar, flute, sax, and you hit the next one. As A&R, we made this selection of Judah after I had began to audition a couple people, and I heard Judah, and lyrically and musically, he was just right where we wanted to be. He didn't really need a whole lot of work. He knew what he wanted. He had a band. Musically, he was all there, and so I went over to his place. He showed me a couple original songs on his acoustic guitar, and Snowberry was a song that really stood out, and so we chose that one.
So I helped record. I actually played on the song. We booked the session for November 5th in Studio A. Ben McLaughlin was our TA. We tried to infuse Snowberry with like 2 different sounds. Like when you hear the song, there's a whole intro piece with violins and a B3 organ and a sax, and then it goes into a neo-soul kind of R&B vibe after that. But the whole intro part, when the song comes along, it was all created on the spot. We had like 30 minutes left in the session. We were just like, let's do it. So, we recorded with a lot of the kids from Color Block. They backed us up, and we didn't use metronome. We for the hits, and just for the whole song. Here's just a short video in the studio. So also I managed Judah. Me and Judah worked really close together. My thing with Judah was I wanted to be able to get his artistic vision out as much as possible through his music and through the photos we took and everything, and just every part of Metanoia Records. That's what I tried to get out of Judah, and he was great to work with. We, as a whole team, we worked pretty close with him. We had, scheduled rehearsals. We supervised recording sessions. And it was we all worked very closely together.
Yeah, so for the video, me and Carter actually shot it. We wanted to bring out Judah's persona and make an image for him. So originally, Judah just wanted a single shot riding a bike down Autobahn, but due to one injury and lack of equipment, we went with what we have now.
Won't you pick up the phone, free up your line? I know you'll feel the show. Won't you explain things to me? Pull at my strings, tell me you're saying right now. I remember. Needs self-control, but there's no helping when you do these things, my girl.
Okay, so I did the marketing for Judah. We constructed a website as a group. We decided on Bandzoogle because it was the most professional looking. It was cost effective, and it was easy for us to use and for everybody to get on and do what they needed to do. We made an Instagram for him. We started with nothing, and we now have 247 followers, which isn't a ton, but it's growing every day. And we didn't have any when we started, and we actually just released this song. So that's with us not having any media really out there aside from a few snippets of him singing and playing guitar and things like that. So we're pretty proud of that. And we also, on his website and his Instagram, we promote his SoundCloud, which he did already have his SoundCloud, but he didn't have an Instagram, and that's all on his website, as well as the email sign up. And we're pretty proud of his Instagram following thus far. This is what the website looks like. His Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud is up at the top, and then we have some videos, and his music is on there as well.
So Armand couldn't make it, but as everyone knows, he was in charge of the legal affairs, so he handled group and artist agreements. He also helped out. We got Judah registered with BMI, so we have him registered as a writer through BMI. And we also, once his account is finalized, we're going to have Snowberry registered with them as well. But there's a waiting period when you get with BMI as far as paperwork goes. So all the artists that were used were all works for hire. So Judah basically owns all the songwriting credit, and also, so that all goes to him. As far as he also helped out with the, I'm sorry, what's it called? Minutes. The meeting minutes and the scheduling and all the communications, kind of like a liaison between the artists. Go to the next one. Revenues, the biggest plans as far as revenues looking forward would be royalties. We just actually got Snowberry actually mixed and mastered yesterday, so we were able to upload the master to DistroKid today. We chose DistroKid. DistroKid has a legacy option where you pay a one-time fee, and if the artist pass away or the account for whatever reason doesn't get paid, the publishing stays up and that song stays there. And then it also has kind of a lower end of yearly subscription fees, so that's why we went with them. So the single will actually be available on Friday, December 7th. So all y'all are more than welcome to check it out. That's the actual mixed and mastered version. And so that's something to look forward to. And then so far, as our budget goes, we spent $62.94 that went to our domain name, website, and also publishing fees through the aggregate. Like I said, we used DistroKid, and we used the option for YouTube revenues as well. So if somebody were to utilize that song in a YouTube video that gets monetized, YouTube will actually flag it, and that'll go to the PRO as far as royalties for that as well. The remaining budget is going to be used once we get the mastered song synced to the YouTube video. We're going to do a website marketing, social media marketing to promote the single, and we also have a show on December 13th where there'll be tickets it's sold at the door. It's actually at the House of Blues on December 13th. I believe 9 o'clock is the time for that. So we definitely look forward to making money with Judah.
All right, so this is, if we had a future for Judah, you know, if Metanoia continued to keep going, we'd want to start, you know, building our local fan base around New Orleans, and then spending more time in the studio, releasing more singles and small little EPs, and then next, you know, playing bigger shows, and then collaborating with more artists on social media to get like just to expand his, who knows who he is, and then in the future get a full-length album, and then go on tours. The future of Metanoia, we plan to sign 2 more artists within the next year. We collaborate with other labels and set up local online shops to sell merch. We always thought it'd be awesome to start a small music festival and, you know, try to sponsor that or create that, and then hire more workers and expand the business. Our strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Our strengths, we were productive with the artist's vision. We really got out what he wanted, you know, and then our weakness, we had a hard time communicating amongst each other, and we never got to merch, which we were upset about. Our opportunities, we wish we would have planned more live shows throughout the semester. And then our threat was our deadlines. We were always late on our deadlines. We were, those are just almost got us. But that is about it. And this is the show. Off Rip, DJ X, DJ Curry, Judah Wakai, and Color Black are all playing. Come check it out. House Blues in the Parish. And thank you guys so much.
A couple of things. The SWOT analysis, as you may know, the strengths and weaknesses are internal to you, and the opportunities and threats are external to you. Okay. So a deadline is not, that's not really, that's you set the deadlines. Okay. So that's just more of a weakness. Okay. So when you, that's the external environment of your business. The strength and weakness is the internal environment, internal analysis. So you'll make that distinction going forward. And also, I thought the idea of the kind of mock-up timeline about the future was kind of persuasive, and I thought the group agreement was particularly good because that's something that I'm not sure everybody has, but it does. If you had that agreement and you couldn't get your meetings happening, then somebody was breaching that agreement, and when they breach the agreement, there's got to be penalties for that. You can't just let it be breached. So, you know, maybe we should resurrect this idea of terminating people who don't do their job. And then they come to me and I'll make them write a term paper, which is what terminate means. So, Rich?
I just have one constructive criticism. I saw some typos on the future page. There was 2 or 3, and then maybe a couple after that. You're not alone. I was seeing typos throughout all the night, but just look out for that, especially when it's in this big screen. It'll distract from the presentation. Otherwise, what a cool artist, and I'm excited for you guys. Good luck with the show.
Thank you.
You don't need this.
I know, right? I really don't. Hey, look. First, I love the behind-the-scenes video. Was a great idea. I could have actually watched more of that. I think that was a good look for that. I actually would like that more than the video. Like, that could have been the video for me. I thought that was a dope idea. I would just say my only point of criticism would be his vocals were doubled a lot, and that's more in the mix, but be aware of that. Like, if you're going to do that, it's a nice aesthetic choice, but there still it should be pulled down. The double should be pulled down just a little more to make the lead stand out a little more in front. It doesn't sound so jarring when he doesn't start and stop at the same time when he's singing with himself.
Hear that?
That's been fixed with the mix and master.
Hey, my man. All right, no doubt. So yeah, that's all I had.
Thank you guys so much.
Hey, I just want to jump in with one. Oh, and John, you have one more
I just
thing?
want to say that, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's so interesting to see the students present their stuff at the end of the semester. Because I'll bet you when you started, what didn't look quite like you might be able to finish. It's really not an easy project, but it does kind of throw you into the deep end. And everybody here tonight seems to have done very well at managing it and actually getting things done and producing music and bringing new music into the world. And that needs to be done more. So thank you all for what you've done. And I wish you luck in the future. I think you're all going to be very successful just based on your enthusiasm and your ability to present. Congratulations. Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, John. There is a show at the Neutral Ground with a whole bunch of students from the intro course, so you should go there right from here. And I'll see you tomorrow right here at 6:30.
You know what? I didn't actually have an official comment sheet. This is my